Misal hai, pav bhaji hai.
Oh.
There is also some chicken dishes that you
Yes,
do.
I do chicken keema
Okay.
and green chicken masala.
The food that you do here, now you're making a paneer
Paneer
bhurji.
bhurji.
You're trying to
Yes,
create a cafe
create a-
with some comfort food.
Right.
Some shenga chutney and also I'm being brave. Some of that fried green chili. Allow for that farsan to soak that tari a bit, just enough so that it has imbued its flavor but hasn't given up its texture to a powdery paste. So what's interesting in this particular dish is, as I discovered in the kitchen with Pooja, they use a homemade masala which is called a kala tikkat, and that's what gives this chicken keema, the Saudi style chicken keema, its flavor. Namaskara. Are you regulars here? First time. Same here.
Big fan of yours,
Yeah?
all three of us.
Okay, lovely.
Regularly watch your videos.
What are your names?
I'm Kiran.
Kiran.
I'm Supraja.
Suprajan. What's your name? Atiksh. Nice to meet you. Happy eating. What have you ordered?
Misal pav,
Misal pav. Okay.
thalipeeth.
Thalipeeth as well. Okay. And pav bhaji. Lovely. Happy eating. Namaskara.
Namaskar.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank
Your
you.
name is Pooja.
Yes,
And you began this.
yes, sir.
How long ago?
It's been 5 months.
Okay. And how's it going?
It's going pretty well.
Fantastic. So we are at this place called Maskaa. So obviously you love your butter. Is that what the Maskaa refers to?
Yes, my main ingredient over here is butter.
Really?
Yeah, we use very less oil.
Okay.
And most of my items, that is pav bhaji and all those things, it is made out of butter.
So it's lunchtime, but today I felt like doing something a little snacky. And I had heard of this place that opened a few months ago, and I've heard of the misal pav here. I've also heard of your Maskaa bun and a couple of other things. So I said instead of doing a lunch, let's make a snacky meal. So where are you from, Pooja?
I am born and brought up in Bangalore, but my native is Solapur,
Oh,
Maharashtra.
Solapur.
Yeah.
So when I look at the food here, it's a combination of various things, right?
Yes, it's a combination of Saudi, Maharashtrian and Irani.
Marathi bolta ka?
Ho yete.
Fantastic. So also for example, when it comes to things like a misal, right? Every region has its own.
Different.
Puderi misal वेगळं असतं.
हो, correct.
Kolhapuri misal वेगळं असतं. It's different. What about the Solapuri misal?
Yeah, this is a combination of Solapuri and my house homemade masalas. This is my own recipe.
And what's your background?
I'm an MBA graduate.
Okay.
And I did food blogging for almost 3 years. And I worked as an HR with Accenture and EY. I'm passionate about food and cooking. So I decided to start my own restaurant.
Fantastic. So it's very rarely that you see somebody in the food blogging community actually take the plunge.
Right.
And
But that's the advantage, right? So,
are you here full time or are you kind of doing other things?
no, I'm here full time.
Okay, so anytime people come here, they will see you here.
Yes.
Fantastic. So Ata Kai, what is cooking?
I'm making my green chicken masala.
So याच्यात काय टाकतात?
Mirchi, kothambir, pudina,
Ah.
and coconut.
Oh, coconut. Fresh coconut.
Fresh coconut.
Grated coconut.
Yeah.
So there's chicken that will go into it.
Yes.
And what are the black specks? Onions.
Yeah, it's we need to
Saute the onions.
Right.
What spices go into
It
it?
is garam masala.
Garam masala.
basically,
Fantastic. And this is your pav
Yeah. Pav
bhaji.
bhaji, yes.
But your pav bhaji is a little kadak. Why is that?
This is khada masala. They thick aste. When we get the order, we actually put the water and then cook it again with the butter.
Ah, okay. So what vegetables are they in this?
Green peas, capsicum, tomato, and onions.
Hey, तुमचं मडकी.
I use moong dal instead of matki.
And why is that?
I want to make it very different.
Huh.
I don't want to serve like authentic. People here they say authentic misal is with matki, but misal has different versions.
Huh.
So I wanted to put in my own version of misal over here.
So इकडे म्हणजे there is a combination of misal आहे, pav bhaji आहे.
Oh.
There is also some chicken dishes that you do.
Yes, I do chicken keema
Okay.
and green chicken masala.
Lovely. I can also see हे काय आहे? Sabudana vada.
Sabudana vada. This is thalipeeth.
Ah, so that's a gram flour, some turmeric, chilies.
Yes, right. Wheat flour, salt, and then white sesame.
Oh, white
we
sesame.
Put palak. We put cucumber. Whatever vegetable is available in our fridge, we put that.
Fantastic. So it's a loaded protein sort of a
Yes,
bread, right?
right.
And what do you serve with this?
We serve curd along with that, either pickle or shenga chutney.
So what are you cooking now?
I'm cooking paneer bhurji pav.
Paneer bhurji pav. Sauji, what is Sauji food here?
Sauji is my chicken keema.
Ah,
Yeah.
so that's what more with the green masala? Or
No, it's not the green masala, it's the kala tikkat. It's basically dry onion and dry coconut masala.
This is a kala tikkat.
Yes.
So this is from Solapur. What do you use in Solapur?
Yeah.
I can definitely taste the onion in that.
We make it at home, but it is just onion, berry menshinkai and dry coconut.
That's it.
Yes.
But there's nothing
And
else.
salt.
And
oil.
And oil.
Yeah.
So you roast it
Yes.
and then you grind it.
Yeah. We dry it for days and then we grind it.
The food that you do here, now you're making a paneer
Paneer
bhurji.
bhurji.
So it's more like comfort dishes, right? Is that really what you're trying to do? You're trying to
Yes,
create a cafe
create a-
with some comfort food.
Right.
This idea is of course yours and you began it. So of course you've got other people cooking. And I'm sure you can be cooking every dish all the time.
Right. So I feel, and right now people, my staff, they follow the recipe and the measurements.
Yeah.
It brings in the same taste.
So an important part of this thing is the pav. Where do you get the pav from?
So I get it customized here in JP Nagar.
Okay. Do you also add some rice flour into this?
No.
No. So it's only the basin.
Yeah, basin and wheat flour. Wheat
Gram
is
flour
less.
to the weight
Gram flour
is more.
Yes, more. Sabudana. There's sabudana, green chilies, peanut powder, and coriander. Salt, lemon, and sugar.
What gives you the filler there here?
It's potato.
I love the aroma. A lot of coriander in this.
Yes.
So this is your green chicken. Coriander, mint, so there's onions that go in right at the beginning.
Yes.
And your garam masala.
Garam masala.
Keema.
Chicken keema.
Chicken keema.
Yeah.
So this is what cooked with some spices, some
Yes.
tomatoes, ginger, garlic and things like that.
Yeah, I use only garlic paste. I don't use ginger.
Okay. And onions, I can smell some of the onions from that. And
Onions, kala masala. So once I get the order, just like pav bhaji, I'll be making it again.
Oh, okay. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So it again depends on each palate. Few prefer spicy, few they want non-spicy. So it again depends on the
Lovely.
customer. So this is my non-veg cutlery.
Non-veg?
And- Yeah, non-veg, and this is my veg cutlery.
Okay.
So I use different. We use separate stoves as well.
For the non-veg and the
Yes.
vegetarian. So you're everywhere. You're in the kitchen, you're at the cash counter.
Yes, sir.
So what should I be ordering here?
You should definitely try the chicken keema pav.
Chicken keema pav, okay.
Yeah. Then
That's a Saudi style.
yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Maybe misal pav and pav bhaji.
Okay.
Bun maska.
Bun
and
maska and tea. That will close at the end.
Yes.
What about that green chicken?
Tea. Yes, you should try.
That was the
even
one that I was hoping you would say I should try. Okay, let's do the green chicken as well. And what about the vada pav?
Yeah, vada pav. Even we have vada pav.
Yeah, so what style of vada pav is this?
It's Solapuri style.
So what is the Solapuri style vada pav?
So we add lemon and again the green masala itself.
The green
red
chili is the
coriander,
garlic.
Yeah. No garlic.
No garlic in
No
your
garlic.
in the batata vada?
No garlic.
In the green masala?
No.
So it's only green
So
chilies.
it's green chili, pudina, coriander.
Fantastic. So we'll also do one vada pav as well. So I think we've got most of the dishes that are on that menu on the wall there. Thank you. ये क्या है? Thank you. Peanut chutney. So the fare here at Maskaa is a sort that's very snacky. So when I was looking at the reviews online, I think people are talking about it being a Maharashtrian restaurant or something else. But in my opinion, when I look at what's cooking and I look at the menu out here, it's basically a cafe that serves you some snacky fare. And of course, most of the fare has its provenance in parts of Maharashtra. Like this vada pav that has a chili that's been deep fried, topped on it. A fairly simple vada pav. I think you get some chutney on the side. This is a shenga chutney. I can taste, of course, the nuttiness of the peanuts, a bit of the heat from the chili. There's also a tinge of sweetness somewhere. I don't know, there's some sugar or perhaps some jaggery that goes in to also bring it together. The pav, well, texture-wise seems like a typical ladhi pav. And you see a tinge of green in the batata vada that basically comes from the green chili that goes in. There's a fair bit of the lime that's very apparent to the first bite itself. There's not too much of the heat, and I suspect that's because there's a drizzle of lime that goes into that potato mix, and I think that cuts the spice of the green chili. The potatoes are nice and creamy. There's a bit of the mustard that you're tasting once you get past the acidic nature of the lime. It's not the most sprightliest of vadas, but certainly makes for a tasty bite. I definitely think I need to add a little more punch to this batata vada. Some shenga chutney, and also, I'm being brave, some of that fried green chili. You got a bit of the crunch of the peanut, but there's not too much by way of a spicy sort of a hit. So I think this is a batata vada, this is a vada pav that's quite gentle in the manner that it speaks to your palate. The casing does well to hold the batata, but isn't too thick that it gets in the way of your enjoyment of that batata vada. Also, I guess when it comes to snacky items like these, I think everybody has a different recipe, everybody has a different expectation. So for instance, in some places the batata vada will be the sort, especially in Mumbai, wherein the casing is very thin, just enough to contain that potato. But if you go to certain other parts, perhaps a Kolhapuri style of a batata vada, etc., you have the casing which is a little thicker, almost bready in its texture. Out here the casing is somewhere in between. What is most apparent in terms of flavors is the tartness that comes from some lime. And I think if you want a little more of the other flavors, I think you definitely need to reach for plenty of that shenga chutney. All in all, makes for a tasty vada pav. Well, that's my misal pav, and I also got myself a glass of some cooling buttermilk, just in case I need to cool things down after tasting this misal. So the components of a misal are quite universal, although what specifically goes into it may change. So out here you have the tari, which is basically the rasa, the gravy. And what's floating on top in terms of the little droplets of oil are also referred to as the cut. So when you cook the tari, it's the cut that rises with the spices to the top of that vessel, and that's usually collected separately. And some misal establishments will also serve you the cut separately in case you like things a little spicy. And then of course you have the lentils, and out here it's the mung bean that they use, and then the farsan. So out here you have some thick farsan also along with some chuda. Now that again changes. So for instance, in some places it will be mostly the chuda. In a Pune they may serve you something different. Then of course you have the pav. The drill is very simple. You spoon the tari over the farsan and the moong dal in this case. But before that I want to taste the tari by itself. This is certainly a tari that is very warming to the palate. There's some of the aromats that probably go in from the hard spices as that tari is being made, and then the heat that comes from that chili. Allow for that farsan to soak that tari a bit, just enough so that it has imbued its flavor but hasn't given up its texture to a powdery paste. You know, when I was tasting the tari by itself, I thought that the chili heat was a little too sharp, but when you combine it with the moong, with the onions, the flavors are certainly a lot more rounded. As opposed to the vada pav, I think I'm enjoying that misal a lot more. I think what it needs though is a tinge of acidity. That is a plate that I'm enjoying. The pav, a bit crumbly, but spongy enough to soak all the tari, the moong and the onion along with loads of the rasa. I think now the acidity of that misal is just right. I've got a slight edge of sourness that balances beautifully against the heat of that tari. If I have to nitpick, I wish the pav had a little more of bite. Right now it's a little too crumbly and gives in rather easily to the components of that misal. I wish it had a bit of a bite, a bit of a tug. So when you come here and order the misal, chances are you've tasted a misal before, perhaps a different style of misal, maybe a Puneri misal, maybe a misal in Mumbai, or maybe a Kolhapuri sort of a misal. So when you come here, don't hold this misal to those yardsticks. Savor it for what it is. And in my books, it's a tasty preparation at that. I also love a bit of the oma that I can now taste from that farsan in that misal. Also a bit of the flaky crunch of that chuda. This is sort of misal where you want to ask greedily for another vati, katori of that tari. Can I get some tari? Tari?
Tari.
And what some extra tari also does is reinvigorates that misal temperature wise. That pav in my opinion though is a bit weak to hold itself against the creamy texture of that misal. Fantastic, that looks very green. Thank you. I'm wondering as to which dish I should begin with. Both are chicken, of course, but this one certainly will be more refreshing in its flavors, and this one I think will lean more towards the spicier side. But perhaps this has more acidity than this, so this may help also wash some of the flavors away. So perhaps the keema first. So this is a 170 rupee plate with a decent enough portion of the keema and 2 pieces of the pav. There are about 3 pieces of chicken here along with the curry and 2 pieces of pav, priced at some 170 rupees. So the portions here are also the sort that would make for a sumptuous sort of a snack, and I think that's the manner in which this menu has been put together, right? So if you want to come here for a meal, or if you want to come here for a tiffin, eat something different, whether it's the vada pav, the misal pav. I saw somebody eating a poha. They also do a bunch of things with eggs. They do an omelette pav, they do an egg fry pav, egg bhurji, egg masala pav. So it's filling food, but in a snacky sort of a way. So what's interesting in this particular dish is, as I discovered in the kitchen with Pooja, they use a homemade masala which is called a kala tikkat, and that's what gives this chicken keema, the Saudi style chicken keema, its flavor. There certainly is that salty heat that you're tasting in that chicken. So I think when it comes to chicken, especially when it's in a mint sort of a form, there's not too much fat, there's none of that nourishing flavors that come from the bone. So the meat is a sort that has more texture than flavor, and I suspect that's why a certain masala like that kala tikkat comes into play. There's also a fair bit of oil that I'm tasting in that preparation, and I think that does well to lend some juices to that chicken mince. I think this will also benefit from some onions. So that masala has a bit of a smoky sort of a flavor as well. So you basically first braise it, the onions, the coconut, and then the chilies.
Coconut, it is actually roasted on the burner directly.
So there's plenty of oil that goes in as well, and I think that oil also serves to give that preparation a bit of juiciness. So if you were to do this in a mutton, would you still use as much oil? In the kala tikkat you would, because meat has its own fat, right?
Right. For everything, actually kala tikkat we don't make it over here. It is used in even vegetarian dish and
and I'm told when they reheat this preparation, there's also a fair bit of butter that goes into this. So there's plenty of maska in that keema and also in your pav. I love the smoky spiciness of that masala. I think on that note, let's switch to that chicken green masala. Definitely a lot of the coriander, the mint that I'm tasting in that. That gravy, because its base is coconut, is also the sort that is rather thick and grabs hold of that bread, that pav, almost instantly. The moment it's dunked into that katori. There's also a bit of the powderiness that I'm tasting of the coconut in that curry. And of course there's loads of butter in that bread. Taste some of that chicken. Sometimes with meat, when you cook it in a curry, you want to allow it to sit in it for some time. I think this dish has just been prepared, therefore definitely calls for that curry to be slathered quite liberally on this piece of meat. The butter makes everything better. Once you get past the refreshing notes of the coriander, the mint, a little bit of the spice, you definitely taste plenty of that butter that's held within that pav. That salty edge of that butter. Get some of the onions. I've tasted 4 dishes here. The vada pav was not something that hit home, but the misal certainly did in its very unique style. And so do these 2 chicken preparations. The chicken keema is a little spicy, a little smoky, in its flavors. There's plenty of the oils that you're tasting thanks to that kala tikkat masala, and I'm told again there's butter that goes in as they finish the dish. But this one feels a little more rustic, feels a little more home style, and what you're tasting really in this are the fresh flavors of the coriander and the mint. So depending on your palate, whether you want something spicy or whether you want something refreshing, I think both make for a tasty, slightly heavy snack. So well, to close things out here, this is the bun maska. So this is like the Irani bun maska.
Yes.
Okay, where do you get the bread from?
I get it customized by Patil Bakery.
Okay. So what's special about the bun?
It's sweetish bun.
Or tutti frutti sort of a
No
bun?
tutti frutti.
Okay. So it's
sweet-
sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
Okay.
Sugar and milk powder.
So what special about this tea?
This is masala tea. The masala is actually my dad's recipe.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've contracted it out to him?
Yes.
The masala making. Where is he?
He's in Solapur.
He's in Solapur.
Yeah.
So he makes the masala for this and sends you.
Yes.
So this, I can smell some cardamom in that.
Yes. It has all sort of garam masalas.
Ah, fantastic. I think I want to take a sip of this tea even before I leave this counter. Oh, very nice.
There's almost 17 types of garam masala that
Yeah.
goes into the masala.
Once you've tasted 3 or 4 dishes here, that tea is certainly the sort that wakes you up.
Yes.
Fantastic. So I think let's close things nicely here at Maskaa here in Koramangala with that bun maska
Yeah.
and some masala tea. Masala tea, the masala that's made by a father, Mr. Patil in Solapur. I'm not a big tea drinker, but I just love the flavors in this tea. The sweetness is just right. What I love is the warming notes of the various spices. The cardamom is quite apparent because that's what hits you on the nose. Also, a bit of the warmth that comes from cinnamon. I also learned from Pooja that there are 17 ingredients that go into it, including some pepper too. Perhaps that explains a bit of the warmth that you feel at the back of your throat. Ah, so good. I love that tea as it travels down my throat. And I'm told the combination with this tea is the bun maska. So this is of course an ode to the Irani cafes with the bun and the maska. Of course in some of the Irani cafes they would also do the brun maska, which is basically the hardened bun. But this is a soft version. In some places you will also find bits of tutti frutti studded into that bun, but out here her recipe is a sweet bun but minus the tutti frutti. What's important of course is loads of butter, Amul butter. I love the manner in which that slight sweetness of that bun contrasts with the salty fattiness of that butter. Mind you, we've tasted plenty of butter all through the meal. I think the only dish that didn't have butter was a vada pav, and of course also the misal. But when it came to both the curries that we tasted, whether it was the chicken mince or that chicken green curry, both came with pav that were loaded with butter. So this certainly is a bit of an indulgence, but perhaps also a slightly sweet way to round off your meal here at Maskaa in Koramangala. So well, if you happen to find yourself in Koramangala and want to snack on some comforting fare that's a mix of culinary influences, regional specialities from Maharashtra, and also the sort of food that Pooja has grown up with, definitely find your way to Maskaa. My favorites, my top picks, definitely that misal. The next time I come around, I've also made a note to try that thalipeeth and also that sabudana vada. Of the two chicken preparations that I tasted, I think both are very different. One is slightly smoky and spicy and the other one fresh with the flavors of the coriander or mint. But definitely don't leave without trying that masala tea. And if you want some more maska, well, there's also that bun maska. I hope you've enjoyed this comfort food outing of Gourmet on the Road. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay strong and happy eating and drinking. Well, Pooja says you have to dip the benne bun in that chaha. That's what they call it, no, in Maharashtra. It's not tea, it's not chai, it's chaha. I think I prefer the tea as is. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!